Are you preparing for an SAP interview but feeling overwhelmed with where to start? Maybe you're worried they'll ask highly technical questions you can't answer. Or perhaps you're changing careers and this is your first SAP interview ever. Here's the reality. SAP interviews are not like regular IT or business interviews. They test your ability to understand business processes, system logic, and how SAP supports real company operations. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the top 10 SAP interview questions for 2025, and not only give you sample answers, but also explain why these questions are asked, what the interviewer is really looking for, and how you can structure your responses to stand out from the competition. Who is this video for? Fresh graduates looking for SAP jobs, career switchers entering SAP as functional consultants, junior ABAP developers preparing for technical interviews, anyone wanting to boost confidence before their big SAP interview. By the end of this video, you'll know the exact types of questions asked in real SAP interviews, best practice frameworks to answer confidently, common mistakes candidates make and how to avoid them, and how to finish your interview with impact. So you're remembered positively. Grab your notebook, pause when needed, and let's prepare to ace your SAP interview together. Because opportunities come to those who prepare. And today, you're taking a step ahead of 90% of other candidates. Part 2. Question 1. Tell me about yourself. Script. This is almost always the first question in any SAP interview, whether you're applying as a junior consultant, support analyst, or even as an intern. But despite being so common, most candidates fail to answer it effectively. Why do interviewers ask this? Because they want to see how you structure your thoughts, your communication clarity, and whether your career narrative fits the SAP role they're hiring for. How to structure your answer, the 4-step formula. 1. Background summary. Start with your education or current job. Keep it brief but relevant. 2. Introduction to SAP. Explain how you got introduced to SAP and what sparked your interest. 3. Current focus. State what module or area you're currently learning or practicing. 4th career goal. End with your long-term SAP career vision to show commitment. Sample answer. Functional consultant example. I graduated with a degree in business administration, and during my studies, I was introduced to ERP systems, which led me to explore SAP. I started focusing on the MM module because I was fascinated by how procurement and inventory processes are managed in large companies. Currently, I'm learning SAP MM end-to-end flows like purchase requisitions, purchase orders, goods receipt, and invoice verification. My goal is to become an SAP MM consultant supporting global projects and eventually specialize in procurement optimization using SAP S/4 HANA. During my internship, I worked on small integration projects, which exposed me to ERP systems. I became interested in SAP because of its market dominance and the opportunity to develop complex business logic using ABAP. Right now, I'm focusing on learning ABAP syntax, internal tables, modularization techniques, and creating basic reports. My goal is to become an ABAP developer who not only writes code but also understands functional requirements deeply to deliver efficient solutions. Pro tips. Keep your answer under 2 minutes, but detailed enough to show your SAP focus. Avoid unrelated personal hobbies unless they add value, e.g., I coach football, which improved my teamwork and leadership skills. Smile slightly while speaking. It projects confidence and calmness. Part 3. Question 2. What do you know about SAP? Script. This question seems simple, but it's a trap for unprepared candidates. Why do they ask this? Because they want to check if you understand SAP at a conceptual and business level, not just memorized acronyms. How to structure your answer, the three-part approach. 1. Define SAP simply. 2. Explain its purpose in business. 3rd, mention modules to show awareness of its structure. Sample answer, general functional technical applicant. SAP is an enterprise resource planning (ERP) system used by companies to integrate and manage their core business processes in real time. It combines functions like finance, procurement, sales, production, and HR into a single platform, which improves efficiency and data accuracy. For example, it has modules such as FI for finance, MM for materials management, SD for sales and distribution, and HCM for human resources. Overall, SAP helps companies streamline operations, reduce manual errors, and make better data-driven decisions. If you want to stand out, add this extra point. Currently, companies are migrating from SAP ECC to S4 HANA, which is the newer, faster version that runs on the HANA in-memory database, enabling real-time analytics and simplified business processes. Pro tips. Avoid saying, "I don't know much," even if you're new. Focus on your research. Keep your explanation business-focused. Avoid deep technical jargon unless asked. Practice this answer multiple times before your interview to sound confident. Part 4. Question 3. Why did you choose SAP as a career? Script. This question helps interviewers understand your motivation, career planning, and genuine interest in SAP. Why do they ask this? Because they want to hire people who are committed to SAP as a long-term career, not just applying randomly without understanding what SAP is. How to structure your answer, the three-part approach. 1. Explain your interest in SAP. 2. Connect it to your background or strengths. 3. Highlight your long-term career vision in SAP. Sample answer, functional consultant example. I chose SAP because it combines business knowledge with technology, which perfectly fits my skills and interests. With my background in supply chain management, I was fascinated by how SAP MM can automate and optimize procurement processes for companies. Zerenia. Also, SAP is used globally by top companies, so it offers a stable and high-growth career path. My long-term goal is to become a senior SAP consultant, specializing in S4 HANA implementations to help companies in their digital transformation journey. Sample answer, technical ABAP developer example. I chose SAP because I love problem-solving using technology, and SAP ABAP development allows me to build real business solutions that companies use daily. With my programming background, I find ABAP logic and modularization interesting, and I like that it integrates directly with business processes, not just back-end code. In the future, I want to become a solution architect who designs end-to-end systems using both ABAP and SAP BTP for modern enterprise applications. Pro tips. Show alignment between your skills and SAP career opportunities. Never say "for money only," even if true. Focus on growth, business impact, and stability. End with a clear career goal to demonstrate planning and ambition. Part 5. Question 4. Do you have any hands-on experience with SAP? Script. This question often worries beginners, but remember, companies know juniors may not have direct SAP work experience yet. Why do they ask this? To assess how proactive you've been in learning SAP and whether you can translate theory into practical understanding. How to structure your answer. The three-part approach. 1. State your current hands-on exposure. 2. Mention any mock projects or practice. 3. Show your proactive learning attitude. Sample answer. Beginner functional consultant. Although I haven't worked professionally in an SAP environment yet, I have been learning SAP MM module through online courses, YouTube tutorials, and SAP Learning Hub. I've practiced end-to-end procurement processes such as purchase requisition, purchase order creation, goods receipt, and invoice verification. Additionally, I've created mock functional specifications and process flow diagrams to understand how SAP supports real procurement cycles. I believe these preparations have built a strong foundation for me to quickly adapt to a real SAP system environment. Sample answer. Beginner technical ABAP developer. I don't have direct ABAP development experience in a live SAP system yet, but I have completed ABAP basics training covering data declarations, internal tables, select statements, and modularization. I've written small sample programs to practice syntax and logic flow, and I follow multiple ABAP coding walkthroughs on YouTube to understand real-world applications. I am confident that these practices will help me start delivering value from day one as I continue to develop my skills on real projects. Pro tips. Always pivot to what you have done instead of what you lack. Emphasize your portfolio projects, mock specs, diagrams, and active learning. Confidence matters. Speak calmly, showing you're ready to learn in a real environment. Part 6. Question 5. What are your strengths and weaknesses? Script. This is a classic interview question designed to assess your self-awareness, honesty, and growth mindset. Why do they ask this? Because they want to see if you know yourself well and if you're actively working to improve. Employers value candidates who are honest about their weaknesses but show initiative to overcome them. How to structure your answer. The three-part approach. 1. State your strength with an example. 2. State your weakness honestly. 3. Explain what you're doing to improve it. Sample answer. Functional consultant example. Strength. One of my key strengths is structured problem solving. For example, when learning SAP MM procurement flows, I break down each process step, map it out visually, and create checklists to ensure I understand the sequence thoroughly. This helps me grasp complex business processes quickly and explain them clearly to others. Weakness with growth focus. My weakness is that sometimes I spend too much time perfecting documentation or learning small details before moving on. However, I'm improving by prioritizing tasks based on business impact and setting strict time limits for research, ensuring I stay efficient while maintaining quality. Sample answer. Technical ABAP developer. Example. Strength. My strength is logical thinking and clean coding practices. While learning ABAP, I focus on writing modular and well-commented code, which makes debugging and future enhancements easier. Weakness with growth focus. I haven't worked with real SAP development projects yet, so my practical exposure is limited. But to overcome this, I'm building sample programs daily, following SAP ABAP blogs, and analyzing real project codes on GitHub to strengthen my hands-on understanding. Pro tips. Choose real weaknesses, but never mention something critical like bad at teamwork. Show your improvement strategy. This is what interviewers look for. Keep it balanced, neither arrogant nor overly self-critical. Part 7. Question 6. Explain the SAP module you're applying for. This question checks if you truly understand your chosen module and can explain it clearly, like a consultant would explain to a client or end user. Why do they ask this? Because in SAP roles, you need to communicate complex processes simply and confidently. How to structure your answer, the three-part approach. 1. State the module and its purpose. 2. Explain key processes or functionalities. 3. Mention integration points or business impact. Sample answer, SAP MM, Materials Management. SAP MM, or Materials Management, is a module that manages the procurement and inventory functions of a company. It ensures materials are available when needed for production or sales, which is critical for smooth operations. The main processes in SAP MM include purchase requisition, internal document requesting the procurement of materials, purchase order, official order sent to vendors for purchasing materials, goods, receipt, recording the receipt of materials in the warehouse, invoice verification, checking vendor invoices against purchase orders and goods receipts before payment. SAP MM integrates with FI, financial accounting, for automatic postings of goods receipt and invoice verification. SD, sales and distribution, for stock availability during sales orders. PP, production planning, to ensure materials availability for production processes. Overall, MM helps companies optimize procurement cost, maintain accurate stock levels, and improve supplier relationships, making it a core part of supply chain management. Sample answer, SAP FI, financial accounting. SAP FI is the module that manages financial transactions and external reporting. Key functionalities include general ledger accounting, recording all business transactions in real time, accounts payable, managing vendor invoices and payments, accounts receivable, managing customer invoices and incoming payments, asset accounting, tracking company-owned fixed assets, bank accounting, managing bank transactions and reconciliations. FI integrates with all other modules like MM, SD, and HR to ensure financial impacts are recorded accurately across the enterprise. Its main business value is ensuring compliance, accurate financial reporting, and supporting strategic decision-making. Pro tips. Practice explaining your module to a non-SAP friend. If they understand, your explanation is clear. Always mention integration points to show you understand SAP's cross-functional nature. Keep your tone confident and structured. Part 8. Question 7. What is the difference between SAP ECC and SAP S/4HANA? This question is extremely common, especially now with many companies migrating to S/4HANA. Why do they ask this? They want to check if you understand current trends in SAP technology and the differences that impact business operations. How to structure your answer, the four-part approach. 1. Define SAP ECC. 2. Define SAP S/4HANA. 3. State key differences. 4. Explain business impact. Sample answer, SAP ECC stands for ERP Central Component, which has been the standard SAP ERP system for decades. It uses traditional database architecture and is mostly run on Oracle, DB2, or MS SQL databases. Its user interface is SAP GUI based. SAP S/4 HANA, on the other hand, is the latest generation ERP system from SAP. It runs exclusively on the HANA in-memory database, which processes data much faster and allows for real-time analytics and reporting. S/4HANA also comes with the Fiori user interface, which is more user-friendly and accessible on mobile devices. Key differences. Database. ECC can run on different databases. S/4HANA only runs on HANA. Speed. HANA's in-memory processing makes S/4HANA significantly faster for transactions and analytics. Data model S4. HANA has a simplified data model, removing many aggregate and index tables used in ECC, which reduces data footprint and complexity. UI, ECC uses SAP GUI. S4, HANA uses Fiori apps with modern design. Business impact. Companies using S4 HANA benefit from faster processing times, improved user experience, better decision-making through embedded analytics, and simplified system architecture that reduces maintenance costs. Pro tips. Don't go too technical unless interviewing for technical roles. Emphasize business benefits, not just system differences. Finish with a confident statement like, "This is why most companies are planning or executing migrations to S4 HANA now." Part 9. Question 8. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? This question assesses your career planning, ambition, and vision for your future in SAP. Why do they ask this? Because companies invest time and money in training juniors and want to see if you plan to stay and grow, or just view the role as a stepping stone without direction. How to structure your answer. The 3-part approach. 1. State your immediate goal in SAP. 2. Explain how you plan to grow, skills, certifications, experiences. 3rd. End with your 5-year career vision aligned with SAP trends. Sample answer, functional consultant. In the next year, I want to become a strong SAP MM consultant, fully understanding procurement processes and end-to-end integrations with FI. Over the following years, I plan to get certified in S4 HANA sourcing and procurement, and expand my skills into integration points with SD and WM. In 5 years, I see myself as a senior SAP functional consultant or solution architect leading large S4 HANA implementation projects for global clients, helping companies optimize their supply chains with SAP best practices. Sample answer, technical ABAP developer. My first goal is to master ABAP fundamentals, from reports to enhancements and object-oriented programming. I plan to get certified in ABAP for S4HANA and also learn SAP BTP to expand into cloud development. In 5 years, I see myself working as a technical architect, designing scalable SAP solutions integrating with modern cloud apps, and leading development teams in large-scale digital transformation projects. Pro tips. Avoid generic answers like, "I see myself in a managerial position." Be specific to SAP. Show understanding of emerging SAP areas, IGS for HANA, BTP, Fiori, to demonstrate future readiness. Keep your tone confident, not arrogant. Part 10. Question 9. Do you have any questions for us? This is usually the final question in an SAP interview. Many candidates see it as a formality, but it's actually a golden opportunity to leave a strong impression. Why do they ask this? Because it shows your interest, preparation, and how proactive you are about your career and this company. How to structure your answer. The 2-part approach. 1. Thank them for the interview. 2. Ask 1 to 2 insightful questions related to the role or company. Sample response. Thank you for explaining the role so clearly today. I do have a couple of questions. 1. What does success look like for a junior SAP consultant in your team within the first 6 months? This shows you're focused on delivering value. 2. How does your company support continuous learning and SAP certification for consultants? This shows your growth mindset. 3. Can you share more about the current or upcoming SAP projects the team is working on? This shows genuine interest as the company's work. I appreciate your time and insights today. Pro tips. Avoid salary or benefits questions in the first interview unless asked. Ask questions that show you're thinking like a future team member, not just an applicant. Always thank the interviewer for their time before leaving. Part 11. Question 10. Why should we hire you? Plus, powerful closing. This is your final chance to sell yourself confidently without sounding arrogant. Why do they ask this? Because they want to hear how you perceive your strengths and value to their team. How to structure your answer. The three-part approach. 1. State your main strengths relevant to the role. 2. Explain how these will benefit their company to team. 3. End with a confident closing statement. Sample answer. Functional consultant. You should hire me because I bring a solid understanding of SAP MM processes, combined with structured problem-solving skills and a strong desire to learn. I've already practiced procurement flows end-to-end, created mock functional specifications, and studied how MM integrates with FI and SD modules. I believe I can add value to your team from day one, and I'm committed to continuously learning and growing to support your company's SAP goals effectively. Technical ABAP developer. You should hire me because I have a strong programming foundation and have been proactively learning ABAP syntax, modularization, and real project structures. I'm passionate about building clean, efficient code that supports business processes smoothly. Combined with my curiosity to understand functional requirements deeply, I can bridge the gap between business and technology to deliver valuable solutions for your clients. Final closing script for video. And that wraps up our top 10 SAP interview questions and best answers for 2025. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, checkmark subscribe to SAP FI Academy for more detailed SAP career guides, checkmark, and share it with a friend who's also preparing for SAP interviews. Remember, interviews are not just about memorizing answers. They're about showing confidence, structured thinking, and your willingness to grow. Check the description below for free SAP resources, our full SAP career guide on Gumroad, and other videos to accelerate your SAP journey. Thanks for watching, and I wish you all the best in your SAP career.